Hey guys, it's Cayley. I'm back with another What Sold From Last Week video. In today's video, we'll be going over all of my sales from everything that sold on eBay and Poshmark last week. We do put everything on two platforms using lists perfectly. It is an absolute game changer. It allows us to get double the eyes on our items and therefore increase the likelihood of a sale. If you're interested in that, link is down below, but yeah, that's the only way we've been able to make all these sales and keep everything organized. So we'll dive into how much sold on each platform last week, and then I've pulled some hand-selected sales to share with you. We'll go over why they sold for how much they did. That way you know what to look for while you're at your local thrift store to flip online for a profit. Let's dive in. Alright, so all of the sales that you see here happened between June 5th through June 11th. That is a Sunday through a Saturday. That is how I calculate my weeks. That is also how most of these platforms create their spreadsheets for sales as well. So in my opinion, it's just best to do Sunday through Saturday. So that's what we're looking at here. In total, I sold 141 items for a gross sales total of $3,921.39, making an average sale price of $27.81. We are still selling off basically what I would consider clearance items, older items that we're marking down, dropping the prices on and flushing them out. So my average sale price is a little bit lower than normal, but it's starting to go back up. Estimated cost of goods was about $564 for all of the items that sold last week, and then my estimated net, which would be our gross sales less the estimated cost of goods, the fees, and the shipping costs, was $2,226.29. Have to address this because somebody put a comment on one of my most recent What Sold videos about how I put a gross sales number up on the thumbnail, but it's much less than that, which is what you're taking home. So I feel like we're pretty transparent about it. I feel like I'm pretty transparent that there are a lot of costs involved, and you're only seeing some of those costs here on my screen. But if you're new to reselling, just know that this is a gross sales amount, which is essentially just what the item sold for plus shipping. There's a lot of costs involved with reselling, such as some of the things I'm showing you here on my screen, and then other things like any supplies you use and stuff like that. So just wanted to throw that out there because it did get kind of a nasty comment about that. So these were my total numbers, and then on eBay individually I sold 108 items for a gross sales total of just over $3,000. On Poshmark it was 33 items for just over $800. So eBay's been really kicking butt, and I've been really happy with that. My Poshmark sales seem to have dipped a little bit, and I think that's because we are not consistently cross-posting every single day. We're just kind of doing it in a bulk chunk when we have time. So I think we're going to try to get back to cross-posting every single day and having daily activity on Poshmark to boost those sales back up. So let's dive into some of these individual sales. There were a couple that were definitely mistakes, so I'll make sure to point that out, what not to do as we go through them. This first one was definitely a mistake for me. This is a Ralph Lauren women's military style jacket. I got this on ThredUp. I paid a total for this item of $27.17. It only ended up selling for an offer of $50. It was new with tags, which is the reason I was willing to pay up for it. I have purchased a similar jacket on ThredUp in the same brand, but just a different color, that sold for like $80. So that's the reason I was kind of willing to pay up for it. However, I think I purchased this kind of in the wrong season. So I paid up for this right when the colder weather was ending and we were moving into warmer weather. Since then, it has been sitting. And so I accepted an offer of $50 to essentially get my money back and reinvest it into some warmer weather items. So that was a mistake on my part, and I did want to make sure to share those mistakes with you. So if you are going to pay up for something, make sure it is the correct season, or that you're willing to wait on it and that it will still be good in a year. This is something I picked up at a regular thrift store for $4.69. It is a We the Free denim jacket. Now, this is my first time finding any kind of Free People denim jacket. This one had some really cool fringe. It had just a lot of like westerny boho kind of indie vibes details. We put a lot of great keywords in it because it was black. We used emo and grunge as well. Definitely a statement piece. So when I did comps on this, there wasn't a whole lot of information in the sold comps. So what we did is we went to Google and we searched women's Free People or We the Free denim fringe jacket and just kind of went from there. So we did see some that were, on the actual Free People website, and then we saw some that were listed on other platforms. A lot of them were listed very high. These retail for over $200. So we just kind of did a little bit of research, decided to settle on a price of about $80. And this did end up selling for our full asking price of $75.95. So I feel like we priced it pretty correctly. This one, it looks like, was listed in May, probably towards the end of May. So it did sell very quickly. I'm happy with what we priced it at, and I'm happy on that return on investment. If you're someone who skips on Free People, do not skip on the more substantial pieces like a denim jacket. Okay, this is the other mistake I made. I also paid up for this item. I paid $39.99 for this item way back when. I originally got this because I thought I was going to keep it for myself, and then I thought, you know what, if I don't end up liking it, I'll just sell it on eBay and I'll be able to get my money back and then some. I did get my money back and then a little bit, but I basically broke even on this. It was not paying up $39.99 for. I think I originally thought I would be able to sell it for over $100, but after digging into a little bit more research, it ended up selling for $61.56. I have dropped the price. I think I originally did list it pretty high, but since it's been sitting, I've been dropping prices every single month on anything that is 90 days or older. And so this was the price it ended up selling at, $61.56. So those are my two mistakes, the Junie bag and the Ralph Lauren jacket. I still didn't lose money, but I definitely would not advise doing that in the future. I'm a lot more careful with paying up for items now, and I'm very specific when it comes to paying up now, depending on the season it's in. This was a brand I just learned about. It is Planet. My sister actually sent me this, and when she sent me that, I could have pulled my hair out because I knew that I had come across this multiple times and not picked it up, so I was really upset. But she pointed it out to me. I found this the next week at the bins. It is Planet. Let me see if I can find the name. It's by someone. It's by like Lauren something. Anyways, sometimes it just says Planet. Sometimes it says Planet by whatever that lady's name is. If you see this, make sure to pick it up. I almost left this behind at the bins because the neckline had makeup all over it and I thought that it might be stained. I went ahead and took a chance because it was at the bins, and I'm so happy I did. All that makeup went out of the neckline, and I was able to sell it for my full asking price of $49.96. Sold very quickly. We just listed this month. It sold pretty much within a week of listing, and I almost left that behind at the bins. So don't make that mistake. Make sure to pick up Planet. It's kind of, I guess, more natural, almost login look, minimalist kind of brand. This one was made out of Pima cotton and tinsel, but I will definitely be keeping my eye out for this brand. This brand looks similar to another brand that has Planet in the title, which is why I was like leaving it behind, because I didn't realize they were different brands. So this is my announcement to you. Do not skip on this brand. It has a really awesome sell-through rate. This is a Lululemon item. We picked this up. I think we shared it in a bins haul. We found a ton of really great items. One day at a thrift store, I found a lot of Eileen Fisher and a lot of Lululemon. This was one of those pieces. I think we found like 4 scuba hoodies in total. This one was the light blue one. All were size 8. I paid $4.69 for each of them. This one we listed at $49.95. It sold on an offer to watchers for $44.95. Anytime we get watchers, I send out a bulk 10% offer to all of my watchers multiple times a day, and this was one that a buyer accepted for 10% off. Next up is an LL Bean item. This one's definitely out of season, but we still picked it up. We listed this in April. This is a men's size extra extra large 100% lamb's wool sweater and made in Scotland. Sometimes with LL Bean, depending on where the sweater is made, it can actually add value to the item, so we made sure to put made in Scotland in the title. Again, it was also a larger size and made out of lamb's wool. So this is an example of an item I would purchase out of season because it's going to be great all year round. Obviously, it's sold in the dead of summer. We do also sell internationally, and even if I did have to wait till winter, I know that this is kind of a classic item that would still sell, 6 months from now. So I paid $4.69 for this. It did sell for a full asking price of $39.94. Again, we purchased this in April, so it took a couple months to sell, but happy with that return on investment. And LL Bean is just something a lot of people pass on, but there's a lot of really great items within LL Bean, particularly in the men's department. Here's another great men's piece. This was a bins pickup. This is the brand Prana, one of our favorite outdoorsy brands to sell. The men's stuff does excellent. The women's stuff does pretty good as well, but we definitely love selling the men's. I pick up almost everything in the men's department. We listed these for $34.92. They're just a pair of hiking casual pants. They make, again, a lot of outdoorsy stuff. It did sell for a full asking price of $34.92, and it took a few months to sell. Next is another bins item. This is Spanx. We'll pretty much pick up anything Spanx. It just performs extremely well for us. This one was like a strapless compression almost dress. It's shapewear, but it's almost like a dress. Got this at the bins, super lightweight, probably only paid $1 to $2 for it. It sold for a full asking price of $39.95, and this only took about a month to sell. Next up is a men's Banana Republic item. We've been picking up a lot of these. We come across Banana Republic, J. Crew, and some other brands pretty much every time we go to the thrift store. We leave 95% of it behind. This is a Banana Republic piece that we pick up every time we see it. It is the men's Banana Republic Traveler jeans, and if you see Traveler at the bottom, you'll know that that's them. And we pick them up in pretty much any size. They're kind of a softer denim. I don't know if you've ever felt like Tommy Bahama men's jeans, but they feel kind of like those, where they're very, very soft and almost thin feeling. So these ones we paid $6.99 for. $6.99 is the full price at our Goodwills in our area, so you have to be willing to pay up for a little, and you have to know that it's going to sell quickly, in my opinion, to pay up for these jeans. So paid $6.99. It sold within about a week of listing it for a full asking price of $29.96. I think that $30 is the sweet spot for these jeans. Next up is Talbots. You're going to see this brand a few times in this video. I've been picking up a lot of Talbots. It's been performing really well. I know a lot of resellers have been talking about this. I've been selling Talbots for pretty much ever since I started reselling. It just seems to have a following, and if you pick it up with the right features, can do really well for you. This one took about a month to sell. We got this at the bins. It was a cashmere blend and a plus size, which is why we picked it up, and it had a little bit of a beaded neckline. For all of those reasons, this cardigan sold for a full asking price of $29.95. Next up is a pair of men's swim trunks. We have been kind of experimenting with swim trunks. There's certain brands that if you have the right style name on the inside can perform really well. Billabong's one of them. O'Neill's one of them. I'm trying to think of some other ones. You guys can drop them down in the comments below. But I find that the board shorts and the swim trunks in these brands, if they have a style name on the inside, can do really well. This one was called, it was like a collab with Andy Irons, or maybe that's like a person within Billabong. I don't know, but we did notice that anything with Andy Irons written inside of it was performing significantly better than just the regular Billabong shorts. We picked these up at the bins. They were very lightweight, so probably paid $1 to $2 for it. It sold for a full asking price of $28.78. Next up is another Talbots piece. We also picked these up at the bins. These are the Talbots Girlfriend Chino khaki pants in a size 16. They sold for a full asking price of $24.94 and only took a couple months to sell. I think Talbots is great if you're not someone who picks that up very often. Start experimenting with it at the bins. Try to stick to some more like, I guess, something that has a specific style name or something with a good material, and just start experimenting with Talbots at a very low price. I think you'll be happy with the results. It has a really good following. Here's another Talbots piece. We picked this one up for $4.29 at a regular thrift store. It is a cashmere cardigan sweater, cable knit detail, size extra large. Really good factors involved there. It sold on an offer to watchers for $27.37. Next up is something we just listed last month, so it took a few weeks to sell. Both this pair and this pair, which are essentially the same size, same style, just different colors. This pair of Born shoes sold in a bundle on eBay for a total of $59.90, plus they paid shipping to get it to them. I paid $4.99 for each pair of these shoes. Anytime I come across this kind of style of shoe, we always pick it up. We use the word primitive in our titles, and we think that that helps these kind of shoes perform really well. And obviously people love them because someone bought 2 of these. So keep your eye out for those. This was another Bins find. It's Free People. It's just a little skirt, but I wanted to show you this because this is a very old Free People tag. Normally I would not pick up this old of a Free People label, but it had some really nice details to it. It had like some embroidered lace. It was multicolor. It was a longer length skirt. I thought it was pretty bohemian. So for that reason, we decided to take a chance on it. It did end up selling for our full asking price of $24.95. If you're someone who skips on older Free People labels, maybe take a chance on it if it's got the right factors involved. Last item on eBay I wanted to show you, and then we'll jump on over to some of the Poshmark sales, was this vintage Nike Air Jordan men's windbreaker jacket. A great keyword for this, if you've got this logo, is Jumpman. It's this guy right here. This was definitely an older tag. This was a 90s label. The vintage Air Jordan stuff does extremely well. I actually paid up for this. I paid $19.99 for this. I thought, it's vintage. It's a size XXL. It's in great condition. It's got the Jumpman to it. It's men's. For all of those reasons, I felt comfortable paying $20 for this. I listed it very high at I had it listed actually over $100. It took a little while to sell. Most things listed over $100 do take more than just a month or 2 to sell. So every time I would drop prices, because it would be 90 days or older, it would get dropped in percentage. It ended up being listed for $95.23 or best offer. Someone sent me an offer for $85.71, and I accepted that price. So $20 into just over $85. That is a great return on investment, but keep your eye out for these vintage Air Jordan pieces. Next up are some Poshmark sales. These are a pair of link sole pants. These are great. So this is a good brand to be on the lookout for in a lot of things, but we found these new at tags, plus they were pants, plus they were a larger size. All of those reasons helped to up the value of these. We paid $6.99 for them at a thrift store. They sold on an offer for $51. Definitely keep your eye out for this men's brand. This is a belt I wanted to throw in there. We pick up unique or high quality or both belts. This one was genuine leather. It was a size extra large and had some multicolor kind of interesting patterns to it, kind of like 80s vibes actually. Had I thought of that, I would have put it in the title because Stranger Things is very popular right now. That would have been a great keyword. But we paid $3.99 for this. With belt, I usually don't focus on brand. I usually focus on if it's leather and if it's unique. So that's why we picked this one up. It sold for $25. I'm always amazed when belts sell for as much as t-shirts, so if you're passing on the belt section, might want to give it a try. This is an Anthropology brand that I almost never pick up. It is Pilcrow and the letterpress. I only looked these up because they were jeans and they had this cute embroidery on them. Embroidery is really trendy right now. When I did comps, I saw that these embroidered jeans were doing extremely well, which really surprised me because, like I said, Pilcrow and the letterpress for me does not perform well in most items. I paid $6.99 for these. These were full price at a thrift store at a Goodwill. They did sell for $49, so 7 into 49, really great return on investment. If you're passing on Pilcrow and the letterpress, if you see their embroidered jeans, I would give them a shot. This is a new brand for me. I just learned about this men's brand, only time I found it, but will definitely pick it up over and over. It's Rowback. You can even see that some of the lettering was rubbed off and I still got it. Look up the sell-through rate for Rowback men's polos. Crazy insane sell-through rate and crazy insane pre-owned prices. This one I had listed I think for like $85 or maybe even $95. I paid $4.69 for this and accepted an offer of $60 just to get it moving, but I definitely probably could have held out longer and got closer to $85 if I wanted to sit on the item. But if you see this brand, excellent brand to pick up in the men's department. Next up is another brand we've been loving finding. It is Poetry. They sell kind of like sustainable pieces, more natural fabrics. Is this going to load for you? I'm not sure that it is. You might have to look at these little ones here. But the brand is Poetry. And like I said, they have kind of more sustainable, more natural fabrics, more of a minimalist log-and look kind of thing. This was a hemp blend top, and anytime we see this label Poetry, we're picking it up. I paid $4.69 for it. It sold very quickly for an offer of $25. Sundance is a brand I just cannot leave behind. This one was a cashmere sweater. I actually think I must have probably been in a really good mood that day because I accepted an offer of $34 on this. These cashmere Sundance sweaters typically sell for about $50. Like I said, I must have been in a really good mood that day, or maybe my sales were slow because I accepted an offer of $34. Cashmere Sundance does extremely well. This one was in excellent condition. Definitely could have gotten $50 for it, but again, we're here to move items. I thought $34 was a reasonable offer, and so we accepted. Definitely keep your eye out for Sundance cashmere and just in general Sundance and cashmere pieces. Next up is a Dixie Chicks DIY bleached crew neck shirt. We've been experimenting with a lot of graphic t-shirts, even the modern ones. So before I used to say I'll only pick up a graphic t-shirt if it's like a vintage band tee, or if it's a really good like subject matter, like a TV show from the 90s or something, but I would never pick up modern t-shirts. Now we're picking up a lot of modern t-shirts and listing them, and they're going for about $20 to $25. I try to reserve it for bins only for lower priced items since you are kind of taking a risk, but all the band shirts, even modern, have been doing really well for me. I just try to make sure that there are more popular ones or more unique. So this one we paid $4.69 for. We actually paid full price at a thrift store. I thought the bleaching would help to up the value, and it sold very quickly, like I think within a week of listing, for $24. I was really happy with that sale. Next is another like sustainable kind of natural fabrics brand. The brand is Flax. I absolutely love picking up this brand. It used to do a lot better. I think definitely Flax linen pieces still perform extremely well, but I have a hard time leaving this brand behind regardless of linen or not. I still pick it up. I paid $4.69 for it. This one actually sold in a bundle with, I think they were J. Jill linen pants. Unfortunately, the buyer purchased the bundle on Poshmark, but those pants had previously sold on eBay and we forgot to take it down. So we had to inform the buyer that we had to cancel the bundle. She was still willing to purchase the top individually, so we just relisted, and she purchased the top outright. Thankfully, she was pretty understanding. So I paid $4.69 for it. She accepted an offer of $45 on this top, which was a great return on investment, but definitely want to keep your eye out for flax linen pieces. This is a new athletic brand to me. It is Sarah's Day in collaboration with White Fox. First time hearing of Sarah's Day, but her collabs do really well. This was just a bra. I paid $2.99 for it. It sold very quickly for $23. We also found a pair of leggings at the same store that day. I think those have already sold as well. So definitely a good collaboration to keep your eye out for. This is another athletic wear brand that we just recently learned about. It's called Savage Barbell. They make leggings as well. These are just a pair of tropical print shorts. The leggings sell for a little bit more. We paid $4.69 for it. It sold for $25, which is a great return on investment for a pair of pre-owned shorts. Definitely a brand I would keep your eye out for, and I think most of their pieces have the Savage patch on them. Next up is something I just recently posted about on Instagram. It is that Y2K trend. We've been picking up a lot of things based on style, regardless of brand, that have this trend. What you want to look for is that chunky platform heel or chunky block heel. These are just the brand Lower East Side. I have absolutely no idea what that brand is, but I could tell that these were a Y2K chunky heel, so I picked them up. Surprisingly, even the small sizes like size 6, size 6.5 have been doing really well for me as well. These were a size 6, and again, I just picked them up based on style, made sure to include Y2K in my title, and in the style profile that we like to put in our description, we included the words summer, 2000s, and goth, which I thought were all great keywords for this item. So we paid $4.99, turned it into $40. Again, this was strictly a style-based pickup, and we've been doing this with a lot of the Y2K shoes. Just do your best to focus on that Y2K style and make sure to put it in your title, and you can definitely pick things up regardless of brand if they've got the right factors. This was another style-based pickup. The brand is Colesy. I've been coming across this brand pretty often. I'm not sure if it's sold at Kohl's or Target, but I think it's like one of them. Picked this up because it was that like modern slouchy jumpsuit cut with tie-dye. Paid $4.99 for it. It sold for $24 and it sold very quickly. Again, picked up based on style. I was really happy with that. These like slouchy jumpsuits have been performing really well for me. And lastly is a pair of American Eagle women's jeans. So we picked these up at the bins, and we got them because they were a size 16 and they were distressed. American Eagle jeans do sell very well, but there's just so much of them, so we don't typically pick them up unless they've got a couple factors involved. In this case, they were the high-rise jigging, which in my opinion is a very popular style still. They were a size 16, a larger size, plus they were distressed. All of those factors, picked them up at the bins, and surprisingly they sold for a full asking price of $29. So if you get the right pair of American Eagle jeans, they can perform well for you. Alright guys, so that's it for what sold last week. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. If you're not already and you would like to be, don't forget to subscribe down below and hit that notification bell. That way you get notified every time I post these videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.